in the middle of a problem or unit on word problems, which is normally the most stressful unit or one of the most stressful units of the year. Yeah, we had a good number of hundreds, and 90 and 95 there were tons of. So what happens is that's only because they did the problem right, but they just didn't finish it right, right? Because the length of that side was 45. So what happens is I would say well over 3/4 of the class, probably pushing 90% of the class got 90 or higher, which is a really, really, really good sign, particularly when we're doing something that can be so stressful, namely word problems. But it's pretty easy, it's pretty obvious to me that you are not stressed when you come in the room. So let's begin with today's Do It, and then after the Do It, we're going to talk about a new type of word problem. So, Feed, we should not be doing the homework now?
Of course.
No. I do not mind at all if we haven't started yet and you go ahead on the homework. That's a cool thing. Very intelligent thing, but not now. Okay, so simplify the expression, and we've done a number of them like this. In fact, I just made up your test for next Wednesday. And on your test next Wednesday, you are going to have a question just like this. So if you're getting it right, looking good. If you're getting it wrong, we're running out of time to look good.
The problem with me with word problems, I read them wrong. Like, I thought it...
You think too much?
Yeah.
Yeah, go with the old, find an item, use it, cross it out. It'll simplify everything. All right, so let's square the 3x cubed first, because exponents, and also we got to square the 2x. It's a little different. So this is 4x squared times 9x to the 6th. You in agreement? Yes?
Why would it be 4x squared?
Because the squared here refers to both the 2 and the x.
There's no exponent.
There is, it's a 1.
Okay.
Next, I multiply those out and I get 36x to the 8th because I multiply coefficients and I add exponents. And then that's over 6x to the 5th, and I divide and I get 6x to the 3rd. Divide coefficients, subtract exponents. Preguntas? Any questions? We're good. Okay. So now let's go on the next one. It says find 4 consecutive odd integers such that blah, blah, blah. Well, as soon as I see 4 consecutive odd integers, to me it's like reading a problem like you had on your quiz today, which, by the way, some people did not draw a picture of a triangle. It's highly recommended to draw that picture. As soon as you're reading a problem, you want to, if it's about a shape, you want to draw that shape. It makes life much easier. This is about consecutive integers, so I'm going to write first consecutive odd integer, second consecutive odd integer, third consecutive odd integer, and fourth consecutive odd integer. And what do we always let the first one be?
X.
X. Next.
X plus 2.
Next.
X plus 4.
Next.
X plus 6.
Good. So that's my setup, and that is the equivalent of drawing a picture of a triangle, like your quiz, or as we've done for several days in a row now, rectangles for perimeter problems. Such that the sum of twice the first. Well, sum means I got to add these things up, and I know they all got to add up to 29. So I'll cross this out. Now, what am I adding? I'm adding twice the first. How do I write twice the first? Everybody? 2x. So twice the first. The second, what's the second? X plus 2. All right, now what does it say next? Twice the fourth. How do I do twice the fourth? It's very important that you put the x plus 6 in parentheses. If you don't put the x plus 6 in parentheses, you will get it wrong. Because it's twice the fourth, and the fourth is x plus 6. Question?
What if you already multiplied?
Oh, and you made it just 2x plus 12? So you kind of distributed it in your head? Yeah, that'd be fine. All right, so 2x and x is 3x. And now I'm going to distribute here. I just want to save a little space. That's 2x plus 12. So 3x plus 5, 2x is 5x. 2 and 12 is 14 equals 29 minus 14. 5x is 15. Dividing by 5, x is 3. Yes?
What do you do with the third one?
Nothing. It's not in the, it's not a, and I forgot to cross this out. If it had said something about the third one, I would use it. And you know what? That's almost, I'm really glad you asked that question, because there should be a sense in you of, well, I got to do something with the third one. You know, what do you mean? We always do something with all of the numbers. But that's the beauty of use it, cross it out. Use it, cross it out. Use it, cross it out. When you're done crossing stuff out, you're done. You've used everything that you need for the problem. Okay? All right, so x is equal to 3. So it said to find the 4 consecutive integers. So it's 3, 5, 7, and 9. Yes?
Would it work if you put in the third and fourth one? Well, the third and
No, if the minute you change what's on the left, the whole problem's going to be messed up. Okay? All right, so word problems, I'm impressed. I think we're doing well with them. Word problems is something that bothers kids a lot. I certainly hope you went over, if you got a question, if you didn't get full credit on last night, that you went over it to find your error. And number 1 is an exponential problem that we can expect to have on the next test. Okay, so the classic word problem about ratios. Ordinarily, I like kids to do the word problems without me and then let them struggle and suffer. Yeah, and then I'll come back and help them out. Well, it's really important because when it doesn't work, then when we show you what you did wrong, you remember it better. The problem is with these ratio problems. I think I could do this for 10 minutes and I think most of you would get nowhere. But once I show you how to do it, you're going to be like, it's that easy. So I'll just show you how to do it. 3 angles of a triangle are in the ratio of 1 to 2 to 3. Find the measure of each angle. Now, here's the thing about numbers that are in a ratio. Any numbers that are in a ratio share something in common. For example, if I took out my wallet and I had $6 and I had $1, $2, and $3. I'm sorry. If I took out 3 wallets and I had $6 and one wallet had $1, one wallet had $2, and one wallet had $3, the ratio would be 1 to 2 to 3, right? Now, if I took out 3 other wallets and they had 1 million, 2 million, and 3 million, the ratio is still 1 to 2 to 3, agree? Okay. The thing is, when they're in a ratio, you don't know if it's 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 6, 10, 20, 30, or a million, 2 million, 3 million. You don't know. But because they're in a ratio, they share something in common. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a million. I don't know if it's 10. I don't know if it's 2. I don't know what it is, but they share something in common. In algebra, when we don't know what something is, what do we call it? X. So these things, the 3 angles that are in the ratio, all share something in common. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's 1x, or I should say we're going to call the thing x, and that means that 1x plus 2x plus 3x, in this case, have to add up to 180 because the 3 angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees.
right.
Okay, most excellent. Now, from here, I think it's pretty easy, right? So what do we have next? Everybody? 6x is 180. Divide by 6, x is 30. So by finding x is 30, we haven't answered the question yet, but I found what that ratio was. The ratio was, or the thing they shared in common was 30. Everything's being multiplied by a 30. So it wants the measure of each angle. So the first angle was 1x, the second angle was 2x, and the third angle was 3x. So what do we have? What's 1 times 30? 2 times 30? 3 times 30? 90. So 30, 60, and 90 are the 3 angles of the triangle. They add up to 180. By the way, as I've said before, that's what I love about word problems. At least when you're done with them, you can look at your answers and see if they satisfy what they're asking for. In this case, adding up to 180, which they do. Okay, any questions? Okay, now I'm going to let you suffer. Go to number 2. It's actually, now that you see the trick, I think you're going to think it's pretty easy. Bequeath? That means when, like, I die and I leave my money to somebody. Vocabulary word of the day. 10 seconds or so. Okay, now this problem is a little bit more detailed than the other problem. So I'm going to prefer to make sure that I do some kind of setup here, kind of like first consecutive integer, second consecutive integer, and so on. In this case, there are three brothers, John, Tom, and Joseph. So I'm going to write those down. John, Tom, Joe. And it says here they're in the ratio of 2 to 2 to 3. So it's going to be 2x, 2x, 3x. The reason I did that is because perhaps a little later in the question, it'll say, how much money did John inherit? Or how much money did Joe inherit? So by doing this, I'm helping keep everything structured and organized. Isn't it true that, well, how many people got 100 on the quiz today? Hands up, nice and high. Now, how many people got 90 or 95? Pretty much equal numbers. And the only difference between the people who got 100 and the people who got 90, 95 is the people who got 100 answered the question. And the people who got 90, 95 did something wrong in their answering of the question. Now, how that relates to you is the setup, it's kind of like when you write an English paper. You do know that when you get to the conclusion, it should kind of be a forceful restatement of the introduction, right? You know that, right? Right, you with me on this? Right, you write your introduction, and then you write your essay, or you write the essay, then the introduction, whichever order you want to go in. But the conclusion should restate the introduction in a forceful, powerful, dramatic way. Now, when you do a math problem, a lot of times the setup gets you started, and then you do all the work, like the body of the essay. And then you get to the end of it, and you get an X, but the X isn't necessarily the answer to the question. So for the conclusion, you look back at the introduction, and you make sure that you're answering the part that they are looking for. So they inherit $280,714. So 2x plus 2x plus 3x is 280,714. So that's 7x is 280,714, which makes x 40102. Yes?
Did you just memorize this, or did you just?
No, I just did it. Did it in a head. Very easy. Sure it is. 7 goes into 28, 4, 0, 0, 7, 1, 14, 0, 2. Very simple. Now, as far as what each of the brothers has, God bless you. Oh, by the way, do you get the line about Joseph and the Technicolor coat?
No.
There's a very famous story. It comes from the Bible called Joseph and all of his brothers tried to kill him and sell him into slavery and stuff. But they made a Broadway play based on it called Joseph and the Technicolor Coat.
I get it.
So have you heard of that play?
Yeah, my cousin was in.
There you go. Right, it's a very famous play. I wouldn't be surprised if pretty soon South Ocean puts the play on. It's one of those plays that schools recycle every 5 to 10 years and put it on, kind of like Grease and Once Upon a Mattress and all these other things. Okay, so this one will be 80,204, 80,204, and this one would be, let's see here, 120,306. Okay, and I did not cross out stuff as I went along, but I should have crossed that out when I put the equals. I should have done the 2 to 2 to 3 ratio, and then the brothers' names when I set them up as well. Okay? Any questions? All right, let's have you turn around and go to the next one. What's the frown for? Well, now you're smiling, but a minute ago you were like, what's his
Proud of her
name?
work. She was proud of her work. She's going to.
Is that what it was? Did you see there's a new Hunger Games movie? Do you watch those?
Of course. She reads the books. I don't really want to watch it.
No.
Because bad things happen. My friend saw it yesterday.
Okay, three numbers are in the ratio of 2 to 3 to 4, so that's 2x, 3x,
So yeah.
4x. It says the sum is 108, so that's 9x
No, come touch me.
is 108 divided by 9. What is x?
12.
Did I answer the question?
No.
No, there's such a thing that when we find x, we're like, oh yeah, I'm done, I got no more to do, But yes, you do. You got more to do. Find the biggest number. Based on how some of you did your quiz, you would write, the biggest number is 4x. All right? The biggest number is 4x, but x is 12, so the answer is 48. Okay? Very good. You may begin your homework. Perhaps you'll get it done before you go home today.
There's a lot of us today.
Yeah, there's a lot of homework. You should cut it down.
I should, huh?
I don't like these.
It took me like an hour tomorrow.
Should I cut it down and though that would make your Regents grade lower?